name's Nico, and today we'll be covering patch notes 0.58. This is a huge patch because this is the preseason patch. There's so much to go over, so we're going to check that out right now. And yeah, let's just get started with it. So, service maintenance down. Lots of new content. I said this is the preseason, so we have a lot to go over. Preseason will be for 2 weeks before, so the LP for Season 5 will be finalized once maintenance begins, so hopefully you guys all reach your goal for ranked or got, if you wanted gold for the cadet skin, hopefully you got that. I managed to reach my goals, which is minimum just like plat in both duos and solos, so I hit my goal. I'm happy with that. I would like to try for a bit higher in duos next season. I just play KR duos. I know it's a little cheesy, but yeah, I was just playing KR duos, so a little bit. Not as much as any duos, doesn't matter, whatever. All season Kunin Cadet Ava will be just distributed based off your final season. Yeah, also rank, we already said that. Your preseason rank does not affect season rewards. Preseason rank only affects the soft reset when season 6 starts. Okay, here's the Aiden skin. It's the Spirit Hunter Aiden, so it's basically they wanted to add another Spirit Hunter skin from last for the last season, but they're like, oh wait, we forgot, or we didn't have time to it's probably not they forgot, they probably just didn't have time to finish it. So here is the Spirit Hunter Aiden, and I'm like, this pattern looks very familiar. I think, isn't it something like Kiara has this one on the back? Anyways, it's him. And we have Jailhouse Laura. You guys probably, I don't know, this this skin is just something. I don't have no comment. Adele is gonna be on like the third emotes, and you can get like a bundle with it. So yeah, preseason hot promo. Skins and characters from season 4 will be 50% off during the preseason. So this was something happened last preseason, so the skins from the previous season were 50% off. So if you guys liked any of the skins from season 4, like now's your chance to buy them because they're on sale. Season 6 pack pre-purchased. Pack containing pretty much everything related to season 6 will be available. This is going to be 70% off from 2050 or 20,500 MP to 6,500. And then the pack will go to 990 MP. So they're actually changing it from last time, where before they like said like they were only going to sell the pack and then we're not going to sell it ever again, and now they're going to say you can keep buying the pack. Oh no, actually no, sorry, no, you cannot continue buying the pack. Never mind, I thought they were. Okay, so if you buy this during the preseason, it's on sale, but if you buy it during season 6, then it's still, I guess, technically on sale, but it's not as cheap. So this, and yeah, it comes with it comes with the year pass, 4 characters, 11 skins, the exclusive skin, the exclusive emote, and the exclusive tombstone. The exclusive skin is Beachside Nikki. This skin I honestly really like, so I will be getting the season 6 pack personally. I didn't actually get the season 5 one because I didn't care for Daniel really. I still don't. But yeah. Highlight now the transfer system and mutants. I really wanted to make a video about this beforehand. I was just got busy and didn't get around to it. I was working on it yesterday and I was like, wait, the patch is coming tomorrow, why am I bothering? Anyway, season 6 brings sweeping changes to the Lumia Island. Transfer gems will change the whole material gathering process, and transfer consoles will introduce game-changing variables mid-game. Mutants will be a sort of intermediate level objective between wild animals and androids or other map objectives. Gain credits by slaying mutants. Use credits to take advantage of the powerful transfer drones and transfer consoles. So credits. Credits are a form of currency used to call in transfer drones or use transfer consoles. You'll collect this mysterious energy current based on Lumia Island, and then send it to the research center to get the ingredients you would need in return. Each player will start with 25 credits when the game begins. Players gain 10 credits each day. Night cycle change. You'll instead gain 20 credits at the restricted area. This is only gonna really, I mean, sometimes you'll see this in ranked, but rarely. It's mainly gonna happen in norms, I think. So, and credits earned upon slaying a mutant animal. In team modes, you get credit for team mode kill and then you fight for them. I'm assuming the team modes credits is the one in brackets. So the solos would be 3, and then in team modes you'd get 1 instead. I guess that's the only thing I could think of. I could be wrong with that, but that's what I'm assuming. Mutant bats would be 4, boars 4, wild dogs 5, wolves 6, bears 8. Credits earned upon killing a test subject. Credits earned for kills, assists, and team modes are denoted in parentheses. That's why I didn't say it here, but that's what I just assumed. Solos, it's 3, duos 3, squads 2. Fair enough. And yeah, the only thing I wanted to point out here is that it says credits can be used. Where did it say? I thought it said something how much. Oh no, here. Okay, we'll go on here. So yeah, the credit system is going to be used to buy several transfer drones and transfer consoles. So I'll cover more. It's just another thing to kind of keep track of. It looks like they've moved the. It looks like this is, I don't know, the timer looks a little bit different from what I've used to, but it looks like it's just our side, the timer up there. But yeah, let's just continue on. Transfer drone, use credits to call in transfer drones to get a common, which is like a white, like a battery or metal, not something like steel, which is uncommon material. Transfer drones can be used to shorten your route or to get materials that you missed on the way. Okay, so you get one, it costs 15 day 1, 16 day 2, 15 or 17 day 3, and 18 day 4. Transfer drones cannot be used in the first minute of after the game starts. Transfer drones can only deliver common materials that aren't craftable. Yeah. So it's very interesting. I don't know. I think this will have actually a pretty big impact on routing. Maybe like solos. I thought if it was 2 items, it technically can be 2 items. If you wait for night 1 to happen, but like during non-night 1, or non-night 1, and during day 1, sorry. You'll only be able to get 1, so it'll have not as much impact, but I still think you'll have some more routing impacts. How much of the big of this change will be, you'll have to see. I'm been trying to work on different routings to see how much of this change is. There's so many item changes that it's taking me some time to kind of figure out which items, I mean, but not some time, a little bit anyway, about which items are better on characters, more so than the credit drones are, or the transfer drones are. But yeah, very interesting change. I'm very curious to see how it's going to be implemented in game. And yeah, transfer consoles. Players can order special materials through transfer consoles placed in 4 areas. The credits costs are expensive and you might have to fight to use one, but getting that special material might be worth it. So it's in Hotel, Avenue, Hospital, Chapel. Okay, you can see here's the one in Hospital and how it looks like. See, there's some gathering time once you actually get it though. So unfortunately, it's not like you can just like click on it as soon as it arrives. But yeah, I'll explain it more here because I know what it's about since I watched the dev stream. Transfer consoles activating started day 2. Transfer time is 25 seconds, so it means it takes 25 seconds for that material to actually arrive to the port. Transfer console cooldowns on 60 seconds, so once someone's used it and picked up the material, it will be on cooldown for 60 seconds. Cost will be Tree of Life is 45 credits, Meteorite 45, Mithril 60, Force Core 70, VF Blood Sample 80, and First Aid Kit 25. Maybe surprised, oh, I can get Taproots. 25 is really good. You'll see what happened to Taproots later on. Taproots is, no, let me just say it's no longer First Aid Kit, so yeah, that's why it's so cheap. But I'll give you a reference, okay, just to how much, like when you can get these rare resources from these consoles. So since you start with 25 credits, it says you'll get 10 per day in Night Cycle. So that means if it's it will take day 2, you can actually get a Tree of Life and Meteorite from it. If you want to save up for one of the bigger ones, which I believe are 60, yeah, then you're gonna have to wait till day 3. Because unless you find mutant animals, of course. I'm just saying, if you find 0 mutant animals, you don't kill anyone, and you just rely solely on this, the starting credits and the day and night changes, then it'll take day 2 to day 3. But mutant animals will spawn after you kill the first one. I'll talk more about mutant animals, my thoughts about it after though, or like when we get to that section. But yeah, then VF is 80. So it is like quite expensive. You're just gonna have to wait a while. VF is basically the same time as like Quickline will spawn, but yeah, very interesting to see. I don't know. I'll make a video actually about it during the preseason, but I currently really don't like how objectives are in this game. And I wish they do something to kind of fix the objectives in the game. So it's adding more objectives like this doesn't solve the issue that there's already around objectives. You'll often see in tournaments that people are like top players, there'll only be 1% of objective, and people are like, oh wait, why is this person the only one there? Like, they now can just win the lobby because they have 5 rare resources or whatever, because they just went to all the objectives. What? No, there's no one fighting them. There's a reason why. The reason's why because the objectives suck in this game. So I'm gonna put a video about that. I think you guys, I would find it interesting. Anyways, let's look at mutants now. Repeated experimentation has exposed the wild animals to an unknown energy. These animals are more resilient to their non-mutant counterparts, but you'll get credits for slaying them. So here's what they look like. In my mind, these are like the shiny Pokemon of Lumia Island. So, and you know, but if you don't know, in like Pokemon game, there's something else like shiny Pokemon. They have like low odds of spawning. Like spawning in the wild. This is like the same thing, but the odds are, I'm assuming, a lot higher. I'm gonna talk more. Yeah, let me just finish reading this and I'll put my thoughts here. Mutants are 10 to 20% bigger in size than normal animals and have sparks on their model. Okay, just to kind of differentiate it. I'm very curious to see a very big, a 20% bigger like boar or something. Imagine just getting pork chopped by this this big boar. Oh gosh. I wonder if it like shoots you farther. I'd be very curious. I don't think it does, but it'd be funny if it did. Mutants have about 50% more max HP and 20% higher attack power compared to normal wild animals. Mutants no longer only grant you credits, but also mutants not only grant you credits, but also twice as much XP as normal wild animals. Okay, so with mutant animals, my biggest worry about this is that they have explained they have not explained the most important change about mutants, and that is the spawn rates. So if you don't, it doesn't say here, but in the dev stream they said that after you kill the first set of animals, a mutant animal has a chance to appear. The thing is, this doesn't say what these chances are. It doesn't even mention that the mutant animals here, that they'll spawn only after you kill the first ones. Unless it like mentioned it up here and I don't remember. Yeah, it doesn't say here. Wait. Yeah, it doesn't say here, but yeah, you cannot see mutants in the first night. You have to slay the animals first before mutant one can spawn. So that's the biggest thing. I really wish they gave us numbers. Like, is a mutant like a 20% chance? Like, the higher the chance for a mutant animal, the more it's gonna be like how it was before. And yeah, I just wish I knew the odds for it. Also, some changes for normal wild animals. Okay, specify this is for normal, not the mutant ones. So chicken, it's leather plus random. Currently, this will go to chicken plus random, which is meat and feather. So normal animals, chickens now spawn feathers. This can be a huge change for routing, by the way. Like, if you wanted to just put your build to luck and just say, oh, I need a feather on my route, but I don't want to go to a cemetery, temple, or a forest, I can now just pray that there's chickens in my zone and hopefully get a feather from one. If you have 4 chickens in the zone, it's like a pretty good chance, but I mean, you could technically kill 10 chickens and still get 0 feathers. Just that's how percentages work, you know, or like stats work. Wolves, these are normal wolves, so XP for killing one is actually going up. Attack power, I guess this is the power of the wolves. It looks like it's kind of going, it looks like it's going down from what it was because the level change. But the biggest change for normal wild animals is they no longer spawn meteorite or mithril. Oh yeah, I guess this is another, okay, I'll put this after bears. So yeah, you can get mithril and meteorite from mutant animals, but not from wolves. Bears attack power is also looks like it's going down. I have to do the math on it, but it looks like it's just going down overall. and they no longer drop VF blood sample. So they can still drop Mithril, Meteorite, Force Core, Tree of Life. You're just not gonna find a VF on a normal bear anymore. This doesn't mean you cannot find a VF on a mutant bear. It just means the normal one. And Wickeline, there's no mutant Wickeline, okay? It's just regular Wickeline. No longer drops first aid kit. And again, you might be like, oh, why is she not dropping first aid kit? Again, taproots are being changed. I guess they don't want her to drop first aid kit anymore. The reason why she did and originally is because in Immortal Soul Blacker Survival, or like the game that this is based off of, she drops 2 first aid kits, because first aid kits in that game is like a really good healing item. They don't make into any other items. It's just really good food, because that game, the second part of that game, from what I've seen a lot of, I don't know if it's changed since then, was like a lot, basically just how much food you have, and whoever has the most food wins, like if you have like the rare resources and such. But yeah, anyways, another thing is I don't know what odds the drop rates for rare resources will be. Are they the same as they currently are? Are they gonna be lowered? Are they gonna be raised? Like, we don't know anything about mutant animals other than just what they've mentioned here. I wish I had a little bit more clarity on the mutant animals. I don't know if I'd want to take the time to like just kill a bunch of mutant animals. The thing is, I'd have to like don't figure out the rates at which mutant animals spawn. Is it 20%, 50%? I have no idea. I just really wish we had some more clarity on mutant animals. Gameplay improvements: reduction, removal of extra basic attack damage and extra skill damage. So EBAD and ESD. Extra base, I'll just say EBAD by the way, and ESD from now on. I'm just letting you know what it is. This is EBAD, this is ESD. The EBAD and ESD mechanics have made damage calculation more complicated than it should. Combined with other mechanics, it made certain characters overpowered, which also limited playstyles and range of skill expression. These 2 mechanics are planned to be either removed or reduced, and will be buffing skill amplification as a stat to compensate. So EBAD damage on items has been reduced, and ESD as a stat has been removed from items altogether. We'll check the items. There's a lot of item changes, by the way. Skill amp scaling has been added to the skills of a few characters. Yeah, you'll see it when we go through the characters as well. It's crit multiplier. So they're gonna buff base crit, but they're lowering Creative Knight's crit strike damage. So now it's 170% base crit. They want to kind of do this to not, I guess they don't want people to rely on Creative Knight more as much, I guess. I'm not too sure. I was thinking like maybe like because of focus impact and such, but if it's just moved to base crit like damage, then it doesn't really impact like focus impact, because I'd still be going to focused impact. Sorry, I'm thinking Meteor, Claymore, and focused impact mixed together. Item rarity rework. With better accessibility to materials due to the transfer system, a lot of items are getting their rarity changed. So this means legendary items that can be crafted through commentaries are now only epic. This would be radar, EOD boots, and like some of the weapons. Like I think it's just Agni. I literally think that's the only 3 things that are changed from this. Items that require special materials to be crafted are now legendary rarity. So this mithril armor, like all the mithril stuff is. Weapons that are made from mithril or meteorite will also be like this too. There's technically one exception. Heart's rare resource weapon is not going to be legendary until they fix how Heart's evolution point system works, because it's not meant to have a legendary weapon, because you know how like you get a points per level up of your weapon, but the thing is there's like they don't want people to get 4th point into Heart's evolution system. So or else all the Heart mains will suddenly start wanting to get make Wonderful tonight not to use it just for the extra point. Muffled footsteps and bushes and ghost step improvements. We know how important it is to hear enemy footsteps. They provide crucial information. Too much actually, so by muffling footsteps this season, we'll try to make bushes more impactful in terms of having a tactical advantage. You can now fight back and make a run for it as soon as you walk into a bush. We plan to gather feedback and continue to improve footsteps with the preseason. So yeah, if you're inside a bush now, you can, or like, yeah, if someone's inside a bush, you can't hear them at all. It's just silence. They also reduce, I guess, the probability of ghost steps. I guess what they're calling silent stepping is what, like, we call it, is like when you press S and you keep walking. This is like the ghost steps, I guess. And footsteps across all characters have been equalized. I didn't know if there's like a probability around it. I don't. That seems very odd. I feel like it's just better to just remove it from the get-go, not reduce the probability, but whatever. Action canceling, crafting and opening air supplies, receiving damage while crafting or opening an air supply box no longer cancels the action. Actions can now only be canceled by CC. Okay. Yeah, okay, I didn't realize this was gonna be for air supply boxes. Basically, if you are a tank character and now trying to open a legendary air supply box, you will now probably just stand there and take the damage because it only takes like a few seconds to open it. And yeah, the other person can't really do anything. Lumia Island improvements, flower picking, let's go. You can now pick flowers on Lumia Island. Gathering them once gives you 2 flowers. Flowers is no longer an accessory and now just a material. Flowers can stack up to 2. Flowers can be gathered every 60 seconds. So you can see what the new flower locations are going to be. There's no more, and what's like been deleted and what's, I guess, been changed from where it currently was. So yeah, you can see flowers on each locations. Rip the cod here. This branch is just moved over. These branches are just moved over. This one's gone. And yeah, these are all the changes for flowers. Looks cool. Nice. Okay, avenue safe zone. They've made it larger. Unfortunately, this is not the change I actually want to see. The reason why they made it smaller is to prevent, which is I assumed was to prevent like circle strafing to happen. But instead, they've made it large enough that you can just circle strafe around this box thing. Where you can see where my mouse is. Like if you don't know circle strafing, it's like basically when a ranged character can just keep attacking a melee character and just running around in circles, and the melee character can never chase the ranged character. This is also more prominent if you have like a wall jump mechanic too, where they can just, the melee can maybe just run around here. I mean, the ranged character can attack them on the other side, so maybe they're about to approach and suddenly the ranged character jumps over the wall. Most melees can't jump over walls in this game. So I understand why they didn't, the tiny one was like really tiny, but they need to like remove the structure or something. Like they need to, this is not a fun mechanic at all, just like being chased in circles. Or this can even happen if you're just like timered out. Maybe it's 2 melees left and one melee has more time than the other, and if they don't want to fight, they can just run around in circles this whole thing, and they can't do anything about it. And then they just leave the circle once they know they have enough timer to win. Okay, so it's kind of cheesy. Yeah, I really don't like that they've done that. I just wish they moved this structure. Alpha and Omega location change. Alpha and Omega will still appear in a factory, but close to the edge. The wild dog that was originally there has been shooed away, and a bat now spawns where Alpha used to spawn. So they're removing a dog. This is just good to know, and they're putting a bat instead. It's in that like top corner factory. I wish they showed on like the map here, but it's, if you go like up this way, like where my mouse is, like if you continue walking where that crate is and then you turn left, that's like the area up there was where Alpha spawned. There's like a bat there now, and this is where Alpha is going to spawn, and like Omega if it's in factory. Wick line improvement. Okay, and this, I don't know, nothing really for me to add here. I think it's might be possible to just like circle strafe Alpha around the telephone booth structure. Really depends on its pull range. You'd have to double check. It might be actually like fine or like better than the, actually no, the old one you can circle strafe it around too. I don't know. Maybe they moved it here to prevent that, but some characters really need the circle strafe Alpha or else they're just gonna die from it. Wick line improvements. Characters or players can no longer pull wick line in really or from really far distances. Wick line can no longer be aggroed from 15 meters away. You'll still receive the damage. So it's not saying range characters can't attack it or whatever. It just means like long distances. This will be the only 3 notable spells that I know can shoot from longer than 15 meters is bow skill, which is the main culprit of like why they are adding this change. Rio's longbow ultimate and Alex's ultimate. Those are the 3 I can think of from the top of my head that have this long form spell. I think Alex is like 30-meter range, so yeah. They'll take the damage from it, but it's not going to aggro them, which a lot of the time the bow users would use it to aggro so they can just get wick for free. Okay, so pawn cemetery details, they're updating how the details are for optimization. I don't know how this optimizes the game better, but I guess it does. I'm not a optimization computer expert, so sure. Yeah, if you want to just know, there's fences now around cemetery, and there's now a bridge here. I don't know how this optimizes the game better, but it does, but okay. Other improvements, bots and normal duos and squad matches no longer auto-revive. Okay, that was extra annoying, to be honest. It kind of just fed a team. Extra filters for characters and skins in the store collections tabs. Okay, that's good. Red dot has been fixed to disappear upon entering the store. That's also really good. Pop-up is after purchasing items now display how much currency you have left after purchase. Okay, that's nice. Augments, red sprite. Damage is going from 7 plus level times 2 to 20 times plus level times 2. The reason why this is getting buffed so massively because this is the ESD augment, which means like only characters that stacked ESD would take it, but now since they're removing ESD, this augment's kind of bad. This augment's bad, so they're buffing it by a lot. Anima Reaper is actually getting buffed from 80 stacks to 100, so that means that you can get up to 10 AP like bonus just like for the whole game if you get max stacks, which is actually kind of, it's looking pretty good now, to be honest. Man, I can't believe how long I've already been recording this. We still have so much to go over. Characters. Massive changes are coming in characters and items this season. Changes to the characters mostly related to the removal of reduction of EBAD and ESD. We know that changing mechanics may dramatically change the playstyle. Some characters, so we try to compensate. Transfer zones and transfer consoles will play a part in vastly shifting existing routes, and mutants will open up different strategies as well. We tried our best to compensate for new changes, but we all know it's pretty hard to tell what will happen in the preseason. Please continue to give feedback on balance. Dina's going cheaper, Barbara's cheaper, Emma cheaper, and Shukai. Okay. Nadine, her crossbow mastery is going up from 1 to 2%. Don't know exactly why. I guess crossbow Nadine was underperforming in their eyes because I think crossbow is somewhat reliant on EBAD, but not really. The only thing they really did was Legend of the General, I believe, is in. I could be wrong which one it is. There is the EBAD crossbow, which is going to be changed, and maybe that's why, but I don't think it was that bad. But yeah, they're buffing crossbow. Nathapon is being, I guess, his passive is going from 10 to 100 plus 20% attack speed. Wait, it was based off his attack speed before? I think they meant attack power. There's no way this was based off his attack speed because no one played attack speed on him. This has to be a typo. To 10 to 50 plus 20% attack power plus character level times 1 times 3 times 5. This is I have not seen this like change done. I guess they really want to prevent people from griefing on Nathapon early on. So let's see. Max this would be, if your character level is 20, so this would be 100. So this would be plus 100 at late game. Okay, so they're trying to buff. Yeah, that's a pretty huge buff to Nathapons late game. But I think it's gonna hurt him quite early game. Like to see level 5, which you're gonna max this first. So level 5 would be 15. So 50 plus 15 is 65. But then whatever your AP is. So yeah, I think it's a nerf. It's a nerf in the early game, but they're trying to buff his late game. Snapshot is Q's damage going from 10 170 to 10 150, but they're also buffing his attack power scaling as well as adding 20% skill amp. So they're buffing Nathapon. Actually, this is an actual buff, just a direct buff. In Tylops, I mean Nathapon's, the thing is Nathapon is, in my opinion, what's known as a fair character, and he's in a meta where there's a lot of unfair characters. So it's not that they should be really buffing Nathapon, it's really that they should be nerfing all the unfair characters in the game. But in their eyes, the unfair characters are fair, so it just be like that. Time lapse W final damage 60, 160 plus 80% attack power is now, I'm assuming it's just like this, but all they're doing is adding 20% scaling. So this will also, and this is only the final tick. If you don't know how Nathan W works, it like goes in four circle, it goes, it's a rectangle and it clicks in each like quadrant and split up into like 4 quadrant. So the fourth one, this is the damage you'll take. You take more damage than the last one. Tia is only getting slapped in the wrist with a max HP per level going down by 4, so she's going to lose 80 HP at level 20. Tia is quite strong right now. I guess they weren't sure how items were going to impact her, which are like minimal because she doesn't really build extra skill damage at all. So, yeah, she's just kind of getting slapped in the wrist. Tia will be strong for another patch unless they hotfix her, which is possible. Laura, so her passive teachings of Neria or whatever, damage going from 10 to 60 plus 60 attack power to 20 60 plus 60 attack power plus 20% skill amp. Thing is, I don't think anyone wanted Laura to be buffed, and they're like, what if we just buff Laura? So this is a direct buff. Plus, they've also buffed her in a quality, quote-unquote, quality of life change, where they now allow her to gain stacks after the movement from her E and R. Casting E before the enhanced basic attack hits the target originally do not reactivate in teachings in area. That's been fixed this update. So yeah, she's going to be even better this patch, and I don't think anyone knows why, because I think everyone thinks Laura's fine right now. Rosie's getting a movement speed buff, excuse me. I think a lot of people would be against, as in KR anyway, I think a lot of people in KR would be against this change. I think they think that she's extremely strong right now. Just looking at like the leaderboard, because a lot of people are playing Rosie right now. And team modes, she's definitely way too strong in team modes. They've did 0 team mode adjustments, so yeah, we'll get ready to be run down by Rosie for preseason. Rio, her Q, Kyudo Instinct, so Hong Q first hit. This is her short bow, I'm 90% sure. First hit's going from 36 to 48, and it's going to 48 to 52. Hong Q second hit's going from 40 to 52 to 48 to 52, so it's better. They're basically made the short bow and long bow, or first and second hit, the exact same now. The thing is, they're buffing this, you might be surprised, is because they're removing EBAD, and Rio's one of the big contenders for this EBAD, and so they're thinking we need to buff the short bow damage because EBAD's going. On Q in general, the attack speed, movement speed increase after flow stacks, like once you reach your flow stacks, go from 2 seconds to 2.5 seconds, okay, sure. And die Q, this is longbow, attack speed reductions going from 25% to 15%, so it's not nearly as, you don't lose nearly as much attack speed as you normally do, which is like, it'll be really nice, especially in team modes where you're generally in longbow form. Her catwalk, her shield is going from 60 to 200 with 30 defense to now 60 to 200 plus 30 defense plus 20% skill amp. Thing is with Mai is you don't build skill amp, so it's kind of a weird change. This is pretty much all you're going to get is your whip scaling. I've heard maybe that Mai is technically better on skill amp late game. I have not tested this personally, but maybe you'll start seeing more skill amp Mai's. Probably not. This is mainly a team mode change only, like the shield part. But yeah, defense numbers and skill tool have been fixed to display properly. And her ultimate recovery, I'm assuming this is when she either ults herself or ults a teammate, is going to be changed like 50 100, so 50% AP plus 12 to 24 defense to now 50 to 250 plus 40 AP to 25 scaling amp. They're trying to get rid of defense scaling, which is honestly fine. Mine's also like a really good spot, especially these are more team mode changes in my opinion than solo changes. And they don't really build scale amp, so this is going to be more of a, like, the base stats will make up for it late game, I think, but in the early game this is definitely more nerfed, especially you also lose the AP scaling. But I guess I say you lose AP, but they're buffing her main weapon, or like non-RNG weapon anyway, so maybe it's actually going to add up to be the same. We'll see. Magnus, broken bullet damage is going from 40 to 240, 60 AP to 50 to 210, 60 AP, so it's technically better if you don't level this up first, and it's worse if you, at max level, The Magnus I know, like, that Magnus does E first, and I'm pretty sure Hammer does W. I could be wrong with this order, by the way. Like, I'm 90% sure Bat does E first, though. So, it's a little bit better for them in the early game. And yeah, 17 first 1 W is going from damage 8 to 24, plus 40 attack power, plus 10 defense, and now 10 to 30, plus 30 attack power, 10 defense, and 10 skill amp. Again, the 17 first 1 was a spell that benefited really well from extra skill damage, so they're gonna buff it because they think it's not going to do nearly as much damage as it used to do. Barbara is actually getting, I'd say, a pretty noticeable buff to her mastery level scaling. Because before, with Barbara, you wouldn't really care about your level because your skill amp scaling was so bad and all you wanted was skill amp. And you really just want, technically, you really only wanted extra skill damage, so you didn't care about your weapon mastery. You only cared about your level and like what items you had. So now they're changing her scale up to be almost double per level, so I think this is going to incentivize Barbara to being a lot better, and lowering her basic attack damage because she doesn't really auto. So free electron blasters or W, this is the one that really relied on your extra skill damage. It's going from 30 to 130 plus 25% attack power to 24 to 120 plus 25% attack power plus 20% skill amp. This will actually be pretty noticeable buff because Barbara's probably still gonna stack skill damage, so I do think this will be buffed overall. Electron blaster fire, laser fired at the sentry gun is going from 30 130 40 attack power to 24 120 plus 20 attack power plus 20 skill amp. Again, this looks like a nerf. It's nerfed to base stats, but most barbers will build skill amp, so this is probably a buff. Celine's Q's damage going from, these are all the bombs, by the way, so this is gonna like magnify because you're not gonna place one bomb on the ground at Celine. You're gonna place like 5 ideally. So this damage is gonna amplify by a lot. So 18 to 90 plus 20% attack power is going to 16 to 80 plus 18 attack power plus 15% scale up. This is a huge buff, by the way. Like, Celine generally didn't build. Let me think. I think she did build Scotty, so I guess a little bit nerf, but overall, like, this is a huge buff from my understanding for Celine, because you do Ruthenium Marble, some do Incendiary Bomb, but I've seen a lot of Ruthenium Marble, and you do Cabana, and so I think this is gonna hit a lot harder than they think, and I bet you Celine's gonna be nerfed next patch. There's no way that she's not nerfed. Magnetic Compulsion, her R damage is going from 18 to 90 plus 25% attack power to 1680 plus 22% attack power, 15% amp. Again, I think this is, I'm really surprised they're adding these change. I mean, it makes sense because you're building amp on Celine, but I think if they're keeping pretty much the same AP ratios, like 3% lowered for adding 15 is quite, that's the only thing that's major to me. Like, if they lowered this by like 10 to 15 and then added 15, I think it'd be fine. But the fact that they're only like, oh, we're gonna lower this by 3% and then add 15% is the thing that is more concerning to me. Not that they're doing these percentage ratios, that's all. Shukai, but yeah, Fear Celine next match. Okay, guys. Shukai, Spear, Weapon Mastery, attack speed's going up. Woohoo! Okay, this is not going to do anything, by the way. Who cares? Print to a Crisp are changed to be cancelable upon recast. I think they used to be cancelable upon recast, but then they changed it so they couldn't be canceled. Then I guess they're going back to can be canceled. And Shukai's R damage going from 20 to 60 with 50% AP to now 20, 60 plus 60% AP. So it is a buff, but the thing is, Shukai was another character that benefited highly from extra skill damage. And so this is, it seems like a buff from here, but I think it's actually going to be more of a nerf, just like item wise anyway, because you definitely wanted extra skill damage for Shukai R because of these extremely low base values. So yeah, Shukai's, I guess they still felt that Shukai needed a nerf, which is fair, honestly. Shukai's just really boring to play, and he's still strong, it's just no one plays him because he's so boring. Yeah, because no one wants to sit in dock for 10 minutes cooking food, that's all. Shoichi, Dagger Mastery level Basic attack going down and a skill amps going up. I guess they really want people to not play him as an auto attacker, which I honestly am fine with. Hey, auto attack Shuichi, Maharaja Shuichi, get out of here. Phony deals passive going from 1060 plus 30 AP to 2070 plus 15 AP plus 8% skill amp. So when I say, like, remember when I said Celine's getting like this random huge change with, like, where was it? Okay, whatever. I'm probably past it. Oh yeah, Celine, like I said, this is like minus 2 AP for plus 15% skill amp. Like, this is a huge change. Well, yeah, this is what I had more in mind, where they lowered it by 15 and then they added like a little bit after, right? This is what I think it was a better ratio. I don't, will this make Shuichi still strong? Okay, the thing with Phony Deal is that you stack AP because of this passive, but now they're nerfing the AP thing. And so, like, Maharaja Shuichi doesn't build amp. That's the thing. So this will be a nerf to... They're really trying to nerf Maharaja Shuichi, and I'm honestly fine with this. And this will be a nerf overall, I think. Like, the 10 bonus base, I think it won't make up for the amount of damage you lose based off the AP scaling. Good Faith's Q is going from 10 to 210 plus 45% AP to 3170 plus 40%, 5% AP. This is all nerf. Like, it looks like it's a buff, fine. Buff early game, or buff early Q damage. Nerf late game. I don't know when you actually level up Q on Shuichi. I'm not too familiar with a skill order. You can let me know if this is more of a nerf than a buff. I mean, it technically is a nerf if you max it, but if you only max it, if you max this last, it's really a buff because you get 20 more damage here. I'm not too sure. Damage going from 20 140 30% AP to 30 150 plus 20% AP plus 15% skill amp. And this is his dash. I know that part, so this is gonna, of course, be better on Mount Slicer. And I think that this is, in my opinion, overall a buff. It's gonna be hurt a lot more on Mount Slicer than it is Maharaja, though. Because again, they're removing the AP and putting into skill amp. Sua, okay, we have Sua going from 2060 plus 80% AP to 10% defense, going to 2060 70 AP plus 30 skill amp. Again, they're trying to get rid of this defense scaling. This is gonna be very interesting. I don't know if this is actually a buff or a nerf. Because the thing is with Sua is you generally just stack CDR, so you aren't really getting that amp bonus. The amp items you used to build on like the meta build was drop near, and then I guess like White Crane Fan, and like because before you do like Fang Mace, which I guess that will be percentage amp. Now High Priest Robe, Tack Ops, drop near, Tachyon Brace, and White Crane Fan. So now you might actually do Burgonet. I don't know. Maybe they probably still want the attack speed. We'll have to see how it actually plays out in Sua. I'll keep an eye on Sua because I do have guides about Sua on my channel. So it's a character I want to keep an eye out so I can update you guys for season 6 on builds. So yeah. I don't know if it's buff or a nerf overall. It might end up being around the same thing. But we'll have to see. I mean, technically, I guess it is a buff based off, like, AP in this, but yeah, Cicella, so Agony, her passive is going from extra skill damage based off HP loss from 2 to 6 to 8 to 24, to now skill amp loss going from, these are percentage amp, not extra skill, so this will go to 2 to 4 to 8 to 24%, so this is actually, in my opinion, a huge buff overall. Like, Cicella was a character that didn't actually stack, percent, or extra skill damage. You really want to just percentage amp, and this also partly has to do with like the Death Rune Hex, where it does more damage based off percentage amp. So in my opinion, this is actually more of a buff than a nerf. And maybe they actually did want to buff Cicella because Cicella wasn't actually not doing that great in solos as of lately, just because she's way too squishy and doesn't do enough damage to make people back off unless she had the rare resources at that point. And yeah, often she just died way too early to get those rare resources online. Go get him, Wilson, second damage going from 40 160 40% AP to 40 to 130 plus 40% AP plus 40% skill amp. Holy, Like, I know this is nerfed down here. You nerf, or you level up Q after passive, okay? So it's basically, or, but overall, this is a buff. I think like 30 base for 40% skilling up. This is a huge buff in my opinion. Play with us, E shield. This is what you can either shield an ally or you can shield yourself by if you put Wilson on the ground, or I think you have to put Wilson on the ground. I think maybe you can just E and miss target as well, and it'll give you a shield. I could be wrong on that. Shield's going from 75 to 75 plus 50 AP to 75 to 75 plus 30 AP and 20 amp. So this is more of the ratio I was thinking of, but yeah, I think this is insane, and the passive also seems really insane. And free at last are damage is going from 150 350 plus 100% AP to 125 325 100 AP. So this is just a direct nerf, because it's just the base damage nerf. Overall, I think Cecile is also gonna be really strong this patch. She was already like the best character in team modes. Mainly Shuriken over Throw, but there were actually a lot of people playing Throw Cecile in team modes. But yeah, we may actually see more Throw Ceciles, but we'll get to the weapons changes. And yeah, I think Cecile is going to be really strong this patch. I'll probably play some Cecile on my stream tomorrow or Friday if you guys want to check that out. I'll have my Twitch link in the description. Sylvia. Okay, Sylvia's movement speed is being buffed. I actually was really surprised by this, but when I read the changes on pistol, it makes sense. Well, we'll get to pistol changes after, but yeah, I was just kind of surprised. This is more of a balance out with pistol changes. So radar gun, which is human form Q. Recovery is going from 20 to 100 plus 40 AP to 2100 plus 30 AP plus 20% skill amp. And okay, by the way, if you don't realize, Sylvia's passive gives her bonus skill amp. So I believe if you get all 15 zones for Sylvia's passive, you get 30% skill amp. It might be 25%. They may have nerfed what the numbers are, but still, this Sylvia has the best skill amp out of all the pistol users just because of her passive. So keep in mind, like, these skill amp things will actually have a pretty huge impact on her. And her bike form damage going from 40 to 200 plus 60 AP to 30 to 150 plus 40 AP plus 50 skill amp. So I think, honestly, in my opinion, this is a buff overall, and I really don't think Sylvia needed a buff. I don't know why they're buffing her. But yeah, I think this is just more of a buff than a nerf. We'll have to obviously see in game, but I think this just seems too good because of Sylvia's passive giving her all this free skill amp. Adriana, and like, she builds into scale too. She does Bergen at drop near and white creative fan. So yeah, I'll actually no, she doesn't do white creative fan. I think she's just Schrodinger's, but yeah. Adriana per throw is going from AP scaling back to attack speed scaling. They put it to attack power because they wanted, I guess they wanted to give it a little more diversity and give her more damage to her kit, because a lot of her kit was around AP, but they're changing it so that she doesn't revolve as much around AP anymore. They want to see if she'll get more skill amp, but by changing this throw mastery, I think people are still going to build her as AP. Burnt, which is her passive damage going from 4 to 12 was 20% AP to 4 to the 12, 20 AP, 5% skill amp. Flamethrower Q. Damage checks when I'm true. The skill damage is 18 to 26 plus 12, 32. Going in 12, 32 to 10 to 30 AP. So it looks like they buffed her Q. Yeah, they buffed her Q at max level, nerfed it at minimal level, and they nerfed just the scaling of it. And this is also skill damage. The reason why it wasn't skill damage before, because extra skill damage would have made this extremely strong, and with her passive combined, this would have been, you'd just be like dead from like, just, you'd be dead extremely quickly. All you'd be seeing them is stacking for extra skill damage. So this is why it was true damage. I don't think if Adriana was built in the skill damage, even with this being changed to skill damage and this being changed to like this getting some skill damage scaling. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. We'll have to see. Adina, okay, Adina actually got huge buffs. Like, she was really bad, so we'll see if the buffs are justified or like are too strong. I don't know if they'll be too strong, but I could be wrong on that. So our base attack power going from 29 to 34. Stargazing, our passive, the combust. It's the basically smolder, but not called smolder. Engulfs enemies infected by sun, dealing 4% of the target's max HP damage over 3 seconds, and now dealing 5% of the max target's HP damage over 2 seconds. So this will actually do a lot more damage. So this was doing about 1.67% damage, or like max HP, and this will take 3 seconds to apply. Now it's going to do 2.5% damage per second. So yeah, this is a pretty noticeable change, and you can apply it a lot quicker now. Luminary, the Q, is going from 50 to 150, 40 AP, 50 to 150 plus 50 AP. Sun Conjunct increased damage is going from 30 to 75, to 40 100%. This is, fortunately, Sun Conjunct on Q is really bad, and mainly because it's just too slow. Like, you have to do CC into it. It's just, I talked all my thoughts about Adina in a different video, but yeah, I don't know, maybe the damage is probably more justified. Like, this should be a nuke if you actually hit it, because it's so slow to actually land that you're gonna probably miss 90% of the ones you do, unless they change how much CC time she has in spells and people can reliably land it. Astral Time, which is her W, is going from 40 to 160, 60 AP to 50 to 10 plus 80% AP. This is a huge buff, by the way. Faded Horizon, her E, damage when marked, is going from 2060 plus 20 AP to 40 to 120 plus 35% AP. Jeez, this is also, I think this is, they've shifted some damage around, and damage when hit is going from 40 to 140, 40 AP to 40, 120 plus 35 AP. So this is a buff when you just mark it, but if it, generally you can just walk out of this part, by the way. Like, you are fast enough to just walk out of this, so they did it more damage of her just hitting, like, clicking on it, and then trying to reward people, I guess. And then they just nerfed this damage overall. Like, unless you CC someone into it, you generally can just walk out and not take this damage. And her R cooldown after casting Conjunct is going from 13 to 4 to 9 to 3. I don't understand why it was on 13-second cooldown in the first place, so honestly this makes sense. These seem like some really good buffs. We'll have to see if this is enough buffs. Basically, with how her kit is, she needs to do enough damage that it will deter people from trying to chase and land on top of her. At the moment, she doesn't do enough damage, so people just run at her and they don't care about the damage she does. So, but she needs to do enough damage that'll deter people and encourage them to actually dodge things instead of running in a straight line at her. Maybe this will be the change. It seems like this seems really good right now, just on paper, but it could be bad in game, so we'll have to see. AR mastery is being changed because AR is going to be massively impacted due to the removal of EBAD, so it's going from 1.3 to 1.8 on basic attack. It's an armor pen going to 0.5 to 1.5. This is actually quite huge. This is like a 300% buff to armor pen. Holy. And her movement speed is going up for some reason. I don't, oh right, okay, I don't know why exactly it's going up. I did mention with Sylvia why it went up, but the thing is that Aya is not just a pistol user. Like, pistols are getting changed, so they're just adding it to the character's base movement speed, but it sounded like AR had like different movement speed, so I don't know. This is actually gonna buff AR a lot more, and sniper, yeah. Double shot SP cost is gonna be fixed now. It's gonna be fixed at 80. Steady shot damage, this is the one that be affected the most by extra skill damage out of all of her spells. You generally actually didn't really build as extra skill damage, at least on pistol. Sniper, you do generally AP more than like extra skill damage, and then you do some like percentage amp, but not too much. And the damage going from 20 to 135 to 55 to now 20 to 135 to 55 plus 10% scamp. So this is just the direct buff, but the SP cost is also going down too. Main thing I'm concerned about Aya is the movement speed buff. Kind of surprising. It's surprising that they're just gonna buff the movement speed, even though they're like nerfing pistol movement speeds. So ISIL getting the exact same AR changes as I am. AM movement speed's also going up because he's also a pistol user, I guess, and they're buffing pistol user movement speed. Oh yeah, actually that's why Rosie's movement speed went up. Okay, yeah, never mind. It's just they're buffing all the pistol users' movement speeds, but not all the pistol users are just pistol users, so they're technically buffing the other weapons too. Rebel Assault, so this is W's going on 1260 plus 35 AP, the 1260, 35 AP plus 20% skill amp. This is gonna impact Pistol ISIL more, but the thing is, Pistol ISIL wasn't really building amp now. He used to, like in season 2, maybe season 2 or 3, he was, but then they ended up nerfing that playstyle a lot. But maybe we'll start seeing that back up now that they're adding this scaling onto him. We will see. Also, I don't know why it says defense pen versus armor pen. I think it's the exact same thing. I just don't know why they wrote out different things. Alex, the Gauze pistol, range Q, damage going from 3150, 3 AP to 3130, 3 AP, 3 amp. This is huge. Alex already builds into amp, so if you want to play auto attack Alex, they're like, we want you to play skill amp Alex, okay? So it looks like auto attack, no, you're stuck on playing amp if you want to do damage, I guess. Incursion melee Q is also going the exact same changes happening here. Yeah, the base stats are going down, but you're getting amp scaling. Yeah, Lena sucks right now, so let's see if she's getting any buffs. Damage going from 1530 plus character level times 5 plus 20% AP to now 20 to 60 plus character level times 5 plus 20 AP. So this is a buff. Patch here is 0.15 or 0.57 patch. Emitted detail. Chill does not decrease every second and maintains still for 5 seconds. Chill decreases after 5 seconds. Oh, okay. That's actually a huge change. I didn't realize they didn't put this in the patch. So this means that instead of it immediately starting the deter, it now won't start the deter until you aren't hit with chill for 5 seconds. That's huge. 5 seconds is a really long time to not do that. It says deter every second. I swear I had like no cooldown before. It just started to immediately deter, but 5 seconds. This might need to be 3 seconds, but I don't want to nerf Elena preemptively because she hasn't been strong at all. But yeah, that seems kind of insane. Chill reduction per second. Oh wait, okay, never mind. Chill reduction per second is going from 4 to 50. So okay, maybe not as strong as I thought it was. Doesn't matter. This basically means if you don't fight her for like after 5 seconds, it's gonna be gone like pretty much immediately. It'll be gone in 2 seconds. Yeah, this is a better change for Elena overall though. Like when you're trying to fight, you'll probably get frozen, or like yeah, you'll probably freeze your enemy a lot more reliably with this change. Okay, so Crystal Elegance for Q. First damage going from 20 to 60 plus 20 AP to 20 to 80 plus 25 AP. Second hit 38 to 110 plus 40 AP plus to 40 to 120 plus 40 AP. So this is just a buff overall. Okay, so she's not that strong, so that's fair. Double Axle, their W damage going from Q or 30 to 70, 35 AP, 30 to 110. AP is also buff, and her Q damage going from 30 to 110 plus 80 AP to 40 to 160 plus 70 AP. So this is more of a rework to be putting her stats in the base than and removing them from her AP scaling. But the thing is, this is just a buff overall in my opinion. 10% AP loss for 50 more damage. But the thing is, you don't max you until last on Elena. So it's probably a little bit closer than late game, where this is actually going to be a lot more noticeable. Recast prevention cooldown going from 0.3 to 0.5. So this is technically a nerf. It means like you have to be in her E for a little bit longer before you cast another spell to cancel it. That's what my understanding of this is. But yeah, overall, Elena got buffed. Maybe she'll actually be more viable this patch. We will see. Because she was somewhat of another user of extra skill damage. She did, like, a lot of the meta builds were building Red Panther, which was the extra skill damage weapons. So she is going to be hit with that nerf. But maybe she'll be... I still think she'll be better than she was, but I don't know if this will make her completely viable. That's all. So Emma Dev Dealer, they already mentioned this in the dev stream where this is going to get amp scaling. So it's going from 60 to 80 plus 20 AP to 18 to 90 plus 15 AP plus 10 AP. So this is, I'd say, more of a buff than a nerf because you are building percent. You are going to build amp on Emma. Extra damage when both attacks hit. It's going from 25 125 plus 20 AP to 22 to 110 plus 40 AP plus 35 skill amp. So this is rewarding you heavily if you hit both of them. You're gonna get nuked now if you get hit by both of it, because this is a huge buff from 20 AP scaling to 40. So this is just double out of the get-go, and you're getting 35 AP on top of this. You actually don't max this first on Emma. You do your hat first, which is your W. But once this is max, like late game, like 15 less damage on it, and this is 3 less, but the scaling is gonna hit hard. That's all I'm gonna say. Ava's VF eruption is changed from true to skill damage. The reason why they also didn't do skill damage on this, because if it was, everyone would just stack extra skill damage, which I mean they were already doing on Ava. But this her laser would have just nuked you immediately, pretty much. So, not that it already doesn't like nuke you. And they're giving us some skill amp scaling. I don't know if it was really needed, but okay, sure. We'll see how. I mean, it's going from true to skill, so I guess technically this is going to do a lot less damage, but I think Ava's already in a strong spot. Karen thought she was like really, really strong, so it makes more sense of this being a nerf more than a buff. Okay, so for 11, we have Hammer Mastery. Jeez, she's going from 1.2 attack speed to 3.2. This is an insane buff. Yeah, this is just huge. 2% more attack speed per level, that's a lot. I don't think 11 needed buffs, but sure, I guess so. So here, Gondiva, his W. So here's a character that was pretty much all extra skill damage, so he's going to be heavily nerfed this patch, especially since they aren't really changing anything other than his W. Like, his Q is going to be a lot less hard-hitting next patch, that's all. So it's going from 20 to 100 to 30 AP to 20 to 100, 30 AP plus 40% skill amp. So yeah, you're gonna notice more damage on his W. I think, I could be wrong because I said he was generally stacking a lot of extra skill damage. So maybe it'll kind of even out, but his Q is definitely gonna do a lot less damage. Gen movement speed buff, again, pistols are all being nerfed movement speed wise, and they're putting it into their base kit. I don't know. I don't like the fact that some of the characters getting movement speed added when they aren't just pistol users, but Kiara, her plague, the dot damage is going from 5 to 25 plus 20 AP to 15 to 45 plus 20 AP plus 20% skill amp. If you don't know, if you're standing Kiara's R, you're going to take just like bonus damage just by standing in it. And so this is being buffed overall. So yeah. Felix Spirit Mastery, attack speed is going from 1.7 to 3. This is quite significant. But his passive shared cooldown is also going down, so this is a buff. But the thing is, Felix, at least in NA, was a EBAD abuser. I don't know if abuser is the best word, but user, and this is like the EBAD changes are going to affect him a lot. I don't know how much. I feel like he might not do nearly as much damage. We'll have to see how Felix is after, because he was already like fell pretty hard after the last change. Priya, Blossom Melody, charge time reduction going from 30 to 50. This is just a yeah, buff. This is a buff overall. Nothing too major though. Spear attack speed's going up. The thing is, I mainly see Spear as the amp for Fiora than in attack power, so I don't think this is going to change too much. Maybe you'll start seeing more crit Spear Fioras. I could be wrong. But I personally don't think so anyway. Guitar Mastery is going up. You may be wondering why, and that's because EBAD is gone. Heart's going to do a lot less damage. Okay, so this is going up, and this is going up. But this is because Heart's main damage is going down. Hedgen, Charm of Despair. Damage going from 80 180 plus 30 AP to 70 190 to 30 AP. Thing is, you level up this first, so this is more of a buff than a nerf. Okay. I guess they wanted to prevent her from creeping as much early, though. I don't know. That's the only thing I can really notice. Now we're on weapons finally. This is a long. Yeah, I said this patch is insanely long. VF prosthetics, so we're gonna see all the EBAD changes. Most of them are just kind of like this one-on-one conversion where it's like EBAD to basic attack amp. Like one EBAD is now 1% basic attack amp. It's the same for like here, 2 to 2, 2 2, 2 2. Okay, so but the thing is, this is gonna hurt Echion a lot because his double strike mechanic was the weakest out of all of them, at least for Death Adder, because the second one only did, this is what I've been told, I could be wrong, only did 25% of it. So when you had EBAD, it was actually noticeable damage, but now this is based off of amp scaling, or like basic attack scaling, it's gonna be a lot weaker. So this is pretty much saying Death Adder is dead. Not that people build Death Adder anyway. I'm not going to talk about the gloves that are like the lower ones. We'll talk about the main ones. The Divine Fist has no flat EBAD. It's basically a weaker version of Mark of the Phoenix right now. It has less AP. It has weaker basic attack amp scaling. So I'm not too sure what's going to happen to all the glove users. If they're going to stay on Divine Fist for the early game, because it's a scaling weapon now, and generally they thrive on the early game, so they might switch over to White Claw Punch. I'm not too sure. Maybe they're gonna be just as fine on Divine Fist in the early game. You'll have to see. Frost Petal Hand, another big change. This is the extra skill damage glove. This is now just getting 12% amp, and you get 1 per level. So you technically start off 5% less, and they also nerf the AP on it. So I guess I think this would be too strong. If it wasn't extra skill damage. So yeah, Mark of the Phoenix is also being buffed because Divine Fist is getting the basic attack amp scaling on it. This is going from 1.6 to 2. Imperial Silk Gloves, it's made from Mithril, LP changed to legendary status, as I mentioned already. Permafrost is going from 75 or 37 ESD to now 25% amp. I don't know if this is I don't know if the math will work its way out for this one, to be honest. I don't know. We'll be playing some Nikki once the season pack comes out. I think the thing is, I don't think you actually get the skin until like season 6 starts. So maybe we'll do Nikki. We'll play Nikki, I think, once the season starts. There's so many other characters to try out. We might end up playing Nikki too without the skin, but I'm thinking stream wise, sorry, not not the video wise. But yeah, I also am going to do what I did the last video. If you are at the minute 7, it could be minute 8, I don't know, depending how much I've edited down from where I am right now and recording it. Let me know in the comments. I'd like to know who actually watches these videos like all the way through, because they are quite long. I don't expect many people to watch the video all the way through. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you're at, you can say the timestamp, or you can just say the keyword is pistol, because that's where we are at for weapon changes. I'll say make sure they give extra hi to you in the comments. And yeah, so pistol, as I said, the main changes is that they're all losing movement speed. So they buffed all the pistol characters and nerfed the movement speed on the character, or on the weapons itself. Thing is, it's not a direct nerf. They actually technically all gain 0.01 MS because they're only nerfing them, at least like the max ones. I'm not talking about like the lower ones. They're all only nerfing the max level ones by 0.04, and they buff the characters by 0.05. So they technically are all gaining 0.01 MS. That's all there's really note to change. Devil's Marksman is legendary because it's made from meteorite. They're all going down by 0.04. Electron Blaster's going from 2 EBAD being moved to now 2% scaling. I think EBAD will be, I think E-Blaster will be perfectly fine. Everything else should just losing its movement speed. Except for Kelt's actually only going down by 0.02 MS. Just to make it, I guess, a little bit stand out compared to like the other weapons who aren't rare resources. Okay, so Guitar's basic attack speed is going up. This is going to affect Heart and Priya. More so Heart, because you aren't really auto-attacking too much on Priya. The Love and, which is guitar skill, the charm, is actually going to be differentiated between level 1 and 2, where level 1 is nearly not as strong as level 2 charm. I'm honestly, there's a change that should have happened a while ago. And yes, another thing the note, we'll get onto it later, is dead battery is going to be removed from the game, and it's just going to be battery and ion battery. So no more dead batteries, you don't have to worry about water. And so the starting guitar is going from starting guitar plus dead battery to just battery. Okay, and I'm not going to talk about all like the lower guitars just because there's a lot of them. Here's where they start. There's the wall. It literally just lost its, they didn't get any compensation. They're like, here's 2 EBAD, it's just gone, screw you. No one built the wall anyway, so whatever. It used, actually, if you didn't know, the wall used to be the meta guitar, but it got nerfed a lot over time, so it's no longer the meta. Bohemian, no one builds Bohemian. This is the crit guitar. It lost its 2 EBAD. It lost 40% attack speed, which is the huge thing about it. It got 15 AP and gave 5% crit strike damage. I guess they did realize, oh, heart's too strong. But this is a huge nerf. 40% attack speed. I know they put it on the base kit, but I'm just really surprised, that's all. Satisfaction 13 EBAD's just gone. Hearts, the Satisfaction's now getting 23 attack power, losing around 25% attack speed and 22% lifesteal. The main thing is Heart also got attack speed buff, so I'd have to see how much of like the base buff plus her scaling would, because like Priya's not building these guitars, okay? Like how much of a justification these attack speed nerfs on the guitar are. But I know I do think Heart was way too strong before. The thing with Heart was that she's a harder character to play well, and like high elo. So, but if you knew how to play her well, you could do really good with her, like really well with her. So, that's why in like lower elo, you kind of struggle, or it wasn't that hard playing against Heart. Or you then at least didn't see a lot of them. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see with this. Wonderful Tonight is, yeah, I said this is the only guitar that's rarity. Won't be impacted this patch, but it will be updated once they know how to fix Heart's evolution point system. This is going away. Extra basic attack damage. The attack speed is also going away, and they just buff bigger. Again, they're just removing all the attack speed from the guitars, and maybe they just transferred into Heart's kit. I have to do the math. Stairway to Heaven's recipe is going to be changed now that you only need a cross of Holy Grail. This makes it a little bit easier where you can actually go to Alley instead of just Chapel. They're removing the HP regen and putting like cooldown cap on it, so this is Priya's guitar, like, so Priya might not end up building what's called a High Priest robe, and might just do Stairway to Heaven with Cabana and then doing like Burgonet, Veritas, or maybe Dallas Band. I don't really see the Dallas Band much anymore, but yeah. Teed Spirit is just lost all its EBAD, getting some attack power, and they nerfed the attack range on it. So in my opinion, Heart overall got heavily nerfed. Like, this is a pretty heavy nerf to Heart. I'll play some Heart in this during the preseason to see how much she's been nerfed. But based off just this EBAD nerfs, she heavily nerfed. Like, it's just a lot. Maharaja AP is going from 3942. They're buffing it, but the thing is, the streamline effect is going from 4-second cooldown to 7-second cooldown. So you're not going to be Shoichi won't get as much use from the movement speed and the attack power boost as before, thank goodness, because I don't like facing Maharaja Shoichi. I am glad for it to be gone. Carwinin, EBAD's gone, and now it's getting AP scaling. I don't know if anyone will build Carwinin still, especially since you used to have things like Maharaja, but the streamline effect was nerfed. Maybe Shoichi might take a look into Carwinin for late game, like they may pivot onto it. Not too sure, but yeah, in Mount Slicer, no more EST scaling, and it's going to 19% scaling up with 15 more AP. This is all Dagger Shukai builds. He's going to be stuck on it. I don't know. Dagger Shukai was kind of dead before. maybe it'll be fine now, because I have to compare the stats between dagger and spear, but maybe people switch back to dagger after this change. I'll have to see. Axe skill, dash from Maleficent Felix no longer gets cancelled by movement commands. Okay, sure. And harp is going to down to epic. Oh yeah, harp was, I guess, another legendary non-rare resource guitar. So a guitar, axe. I meant weapon. Okay, non-rare resource weapon. That was legendary, but yeah, that's being changed. We're only gonna look at the main weapon changes. So AK-12 is the crit weapon. No one builds this. They added the scaling because in season 1, and this was actually the meta weapon for like ISIL. Yeah, it was for ISIL. I don't know if it was for Aya, but for ISIL this was the meta AR for him. So they're just gonna give it back to him because he used to grief early with it, and then they're just gonna give 5% crit damage. XCRs, this is just gone, and they're giving some AP. They're giving 8 for removing 5. I also don't know how they made up these numbers, by the way, because it's not like 1-to-1. It's not 1-to-1, by the way. Like, this damage, this scales so heavily. So this is a nerf overall. And Type 95's attack range is going way down by 0.25. We're not gonna have Gatling gun, and it's going down the rare just because Agni's going down to epic. That's only it. But we're only gonna look at this one because this is the final form. Yeah, it has no more ESD. It gained 18 AP and it gets basic attack per level. I don't know. And the thing is, they also gave this armor pen, like AR scaling of armor pen, so I think AR is still going to be a problem. It was a problem this patch. I think it's still going to be a problem last patch. The reason why it's a problem now is because they redid assault rifle weapon skill, and now where you can pretty much proc it whenever you want to, and it's made it very hard to fight into. It does so much damage. So I think AR is still going to be way too strong, even after the changes, because they gave it basically armor pen plus basic attack amp, so it's still going to hit quite hard. And like AR wasn't already really building into EBAD anyway. They started to switch off of it into just attack speed items. So yeah, I think heart is the biggest impact, like has the most impact out of the changes for EBAD. I think AR is fine. I really do. I think it's still gonna be just as strong. Okay, so Durandal, Rapier is now getting Magnetic Midnight on it. Your max basic attack slows target by 25% for 1.25 seconds. This is actually a pretty noticeable slow. It is on a 6-second cooldown, so you're probably only proc it once per fight, maybe twice per fight. But yeah, it's just because no one builds Durandal either, giving this to them. Red Panther is getting less AP. It's also getting 13% amp, like percentage amp, obviously, because extra skill is gone. There's no more SP regen on it, and you're also getting healing reduction. This is actually quite huge. It could open up your other slots for non-healing reduction items. Meteor Claymore is going to legendary because it's made from a meteor. Sword of Justice is getting... Okay, so what's happening is Sword of Justice, which is the weapon before Missile Time, because that was another weapon that's a legendary without rare resource, is now just getting Missile Time stats put onto it. Like, the old stats are being transferred to Sword of Justice. So, and now you can actually upgrade your Sword of Justice into Missile Time with a Tree of Life. And you can see the stats they get, so not that bad, but I also can't wait to... Oh, they just nerfed the crit strike damage on it, though, in general. That wasn't a buff, they just nerfed this. And yeah, I can't wait to see Adela run Missile Time again. I don't know. Maybe she won't. She can run like whatever she wants, and she's fine, Adela, because it's Adela. So, Joy is being ready to legendary. Okay. Evening Stars legendary again, rare resource. This is getting slight buff. Hammer of Dagda is obviously no more EBAT on it, and they just gave it 9 AP. This is a huge nerf to 11. I don't think 11 is going to be building Hammer of Dagda anymore. I think they're just going to stick to the Hammer of Thor. Fang Mace is being nerfed. Okay, nerf's not a good word. It's being reworked. This is no more extra skill damage. It's getting 20 AP and 20% skill amp. This seems really good, and Evening Star is just gonna be a direct upgrade of Fang Mace at this point. So yeah, and then Hammer Thor is... Oh wait, I thought they're gonna switch out of the Hammer Thor, but they removed the attack speed on Hammer Thor, or the per level. I might actually have base attack speed on it. I have to double check. That's why. I guess they're just, but it is getting nerfed overall. Yeah, well, I know that this is Evening Star is just a better Fang Mace at this point, because this is only gonna have 2% more amp difference. It's the only difference really between these two are gonna be the AP. But yeah, I was just thinking for characters. This is Sua and Magnus. Hammer Magnus is not a good spot right now. Sua, her passive also got changed, and now scales was like percentage skill amp. Okay, I just gotta just call it skill amp because ESD is gone. Okay, we're just gonna call it skill amp from now on. So yeah, it's going scaling with skill amp. So I think this is probably Sua might be back to meta again, and I don't know if I really like that. So yeah. Magic Stick, my rarity. Spy Umbrella is now 50% skill amp with healing reduction. This is just like a kind of a nerf to Barbara in general. It's not even like 1-to-1. This is like lower than this, obviously. But Magnus doesn't really build into amp. I mean, there's some people that do, but it's not that common. So the thing is, this opens up the slot for like another healing reduction slot. Maybe you're gonna do Gojin instead. That might be good. We'll see. Crossbow base attack range is being buffed actually by 0.25 this patch. Legend of the General, yeah, this is just like a lower one, so I'm not gonna talk about it. Is actually being nerfed, and the Golden Ghost. Oh, Golden Ghost is the E-bad one. Okay, I wasn't sure which one it is. This is getting basic attack amp on it, but 2%. Actually, this seems really good. I think Crossbow Nadine, and I got more armor pen. I think people are going to build Golden Ghost on Crossbow Nadine. And actually, this seems pretty insane, like late game, because Nadine's already a late game character. So, and they buffed the base attack range. I think people are going to switch over to Crossbow Nadine now. This patch, this just seems incredibly strong to me. Dual swords, Blood Gorizar, no more obviously ESDs, now it gets skill amp, and they're rechanged the hex on it to be 200% amp instead of 150 and 100. So technically this did get nerfed, but I don't think they wanted to put this at 250 since some people are already starting to build a Blood Gorizar. Starsteel Twins, legendary, no ESD, and all they gave was 5 attack power. Starsteels is dead in my opinion. No one's going to build Starsteels anymore. You're just going to save up for Spring and Autumn and use the Meteorite on Fallen Pegasus and Moonlight Pendant. And Chaku, Smiting Dragon, no more ESD. It's now just scaling up per level. I actually think people have already started building Smiting in KR anyway. This might actually incentivize them to build in NA as well, Smiting. I'm not too sure. I don't know the difference in damage between percentage amp and ESD on Dylan. Not that it matters because ESD's gone. But I have to compare Smiting to like Cerberus to see which one's actually better now. Okay, Arcana. So the star. I don't remember which one the star is. I think that's the. Okay, and I think this is the one with the CDR and percentage amp on it. I think it's the main one that they build. But this is just being changed from Barbed Blossom to Barbed Wire, so that means you don't have flower to collect. Makes it a little bit easier for routing as well. And the moon's being legendary because it's a rare resource. Shuriken is damage to summons going from 2 to 3. I honestly thought it was already 3, but whatever. Base attack range is going up by 0.25. Okay, we're gonna just go to the main ones. Those are all like the small ones. Okay, so Frost Petal Dart, I'll just say an exception here. Though it requires special material, staying epic because it builds into a higher rarity. So that's their thing. So different legendary. This builds in, okay, Frost Petal builds into Petal Torrent if you don't know. So this is gonna stay epic. Petal Torrent will be legendary still. Mystic Jade Charm is losing its extra skill damage, but is getting the Primordial Hex. This hex is just a weaker version of Death Rune's hex, so if you're building Mystic Jade Charm, you pretty much just want to switch into Death Rune, unless the scaling, I'd have to do the math on it, but I'm pretty sure you just switch to Death Rune scaling instead, because this is 30 plus 100% amp, while Mystic Jades is like 100 plus 125% amp. So yeah. Azure Dagger getting buffed in AP, it's losing all its ESD, obviously, that's what this patch is all about, and getting 20% amp and 3% more CDR. Not looking too bad, but the thing was, this was like, it was like the nuke weapon. This is what Sahir would build. Pretty sure. I don't think he may have switched over to the Mystic Jade, but I think they were building Azure this patch, so yeah, I don't know. Sahir, I think Sahir is going to be like really screwed this patch as well. Heart and Sahir, I think, are my two biggest nerfed characters so far. Fuma is going to 12%. This is a 1-to-1, sure. I think Fuma is just a better... Honestly, I think Fuma is just going to be better Azure Dagger, because there's CDR on Fuma. It has the more CDR. It has only 8% less amp, and it has like, I think 60 AP. So I think Azure's dead. I think everyone who builds Azure is going to move to Fuma. And Pedal Torrent is just going to get 90% skill amp on it. They already removed the EBAT off of Pedal Torrent, so that's why it's not there. Erendite, this is a huge nerf, really. 26 EBATs going to up to 13 AP, and attack power scaling. This is just a huge nerf. And Elmas, no one builds Elmas anyways, but it's getting 30% amp. No one's going to build it, so... Okay, Shadow Stab, the spear skill is being nerfed. Yeah, it did a lot of damage before, makes sense. Mingtian Huaji, which is the ESD one, is now just getting 16% amp. And also no movement speed loss. This is quite huge. I actually might expect Spear Fiora to switch to Fangtian now. It has no scaling on it, and there's no movement speed loss. It depends what... Actually, depends what was on Lance and Poseidon. I have to double check Lance and Poseidon stats. Maybe people will still just stay on Lance and Poseidon. Gentian is now legendary because it's a mithril. I still can't believe this is made a mithril. I just remember back in the days of me playing Spear Fiora, building Gentian in the early game, and now no one builds it. 18-foot spear is losing a bunch of its attack speed. This is just because it's the most overset spear, and they want people to switch off to other spears. Cosmic Binding is being legendary, and it's a meteorite weapon. Lance Poseidon's getting buffed to 3 AP. Spears Longinus is getting a huge buff with 10 AP and more lifesteal. The thing is, BF is going to be a lot more rare, I think. I could be wrong. Maybe people are going to spawn in like 5 VFs with the console, or the transfer consoles now, but you can't get VF off quick line, so if you really want VF, you're gonna have to go to like one of the stations for it. Whips. Okay, and just big change here would be the recipe. There's no more dead powdery, so all you need is a battery to make lightning whips. It makes it easier for me, to be honest. And yeah, Glepnir is going from 21 extra skill to 16 skill. Thunder Whip is getting 5 more AP. Ranos, legendary, it's made of meteorite. Cathode, the streamline is going from 5 seconds to 12 seconds. Is a huge nerf. No one's going to build Cathode anymore, I already can tell you that. Plasma Whip is losing its EBAD, and attack power is going up by 25. This will make it quite strong in the early game, but you're just going to want to switch to Ranos on Mai. Mai's the only character that builds Plasma Whip right now. And Ninetales is going up to 30% amp. Technically, Thunder Whip has more percentage skill up than Ninetales, but you're still going to want to switch to Ninetales due to all the other stats that Ninetales have, which is specifically the CDR and then the Omni Siphon. If you guys are just wondering my thoughts for Lennox, no one's going to build Glepnir on Lennox anymore. Everyone's going to switch to Thunder Whip, because Thunder Whip will just outscale Glepnir in terms of damage now. And you're gonna do White Green Fan. You'll see the changes to the armor once we get there. We have just a lot of weapons to go through. So Ultraviolet Camera, which is the Force Core camera if you didn't know, gets 10 more AP, 25% skill amp because ESD's gone, and the Biotic Confusion is gonna be just your damage plus 200% amp. So it technically is weaker, but it's they just combined them into one. So this technically also is a buff, but Nathan did a lot better of extra skill damage due to how his passive works. I don't know. Well, this actually, I didn't even think about like Nathan's passive now. His passive might not do nearly as much damage as it used to, huh? Yeah, I'd have to see a Nathan in game to see what's going on with his auto attacks, because his auto attacks used to do a lot of damage because they were considered spells, so you do ESD on top of your base damage. So I saw losing 6 AP, and it's also getting second wind on it. It's the shield effect for a bit, but this is on 25-second cooldown. I mean, second wind is basically what Crusader's Helm has, Dane's Sleeve, Burgundy 47, but this is only the shield part. You're not getting that AP bonus, so I don't know if people will build it. I could be wrong, but they're just trying to differentiate between the different Tonfas, because pretty much all the Tonfas are the same. They all have AP, they all have defense, and there's like no reason to build. If you're building one Tonfa, it doesn't really matter compared to the other Tonfas. Windrunner is now legendary. Throw. Okay, we're just gonna look at the main ones. David Sling, no more EBAT on it. This is actually gonna hurt William quite a bit, by the way. That's another thing that's gonna be hurt this patch, William. AP is going up by 6, and you get attack level or attack power per level. Grenade Antioch, no more EBAT, and it's getting basic attack amp per level on it, and attack power. So I still think William will build. Actually, maybe William's not nerfed nearly as bad because of this attack power change, but I still think it'll be a nerf overall, though. He'll be definitely stronger in the late game. And we have Fireball. Okay, Fireball, I think this is the most big change of one of the biggest changes this patch. It's losing a lot of AP, like 7 AP, but it's getting 3% amp per scale per level. This is huge. Like, this is why I think Throw Cell will be back in meta again. Like, you're gonna get 60% amp at max level on Fireball, which is a lot of amp. 60%, that is insane. I think this weapon will be nerfed in the next patch or a hotfix. I think this is just way too strong. But yeah, so let's look at the bows. We have Golden Ratio is now just is removing its scaling on it and just becoming a flat 22% amp. Artemis Legendary, obviously. Elemental is going from 32 ESD to 25% scaling amp. So basically Elemental and Golden Ratio are like pretty similar. It's whether or not you want healing reduction versus CDR. It's whatever one you value more. Healing reduction is quite nice, so Hedgin's probably going to stay on Elemental Bow, but if you don't care about the healing reduction there and you are fine putting it as like your accessory slot, you might go Golden Ratio. You'll see. And Ancient Bolt seems okay, so it's losing against EBAD scaling, obviously, and now it's getting 24% more AP and also 1.4% basic attack amp. This seems insane. I honestly think Rio, even Longbow Rio, will use this one. You won't have the attack speed, so you might have to do Feather Boots instead. But they did buff Longbow Rio's attack speed conversions, so but I think this weapon looks really strong. Even though it will hurt Shortbow Rio, I think Longbow Rio might come back more into meta. We'll have to see. Okay, so now we're on armor finally. We're just gonna look at the main ones. So Cardinal Robe is the final form, and it's just 12 AP. So no more ESD, it's just attack power. Rocker's Jacket is no more defense from basic attack, it just gets 1 more defense. I don't know how these convert to 1-on-1 ratio, but okay, sure. Mythor Armor, like all the Mythor stuff is being changed. Legendary. Battle Suit gets 8 more defense, it lost 8. EOD Suit also lost it, so these are like perfectly fine. Crusader's Armor is getting 18 AP on it for losing 13 ESD or EBAD. I just realized, holy 18. Okay, Crusader's Armor is also going to be insanely strong. Holy, they're gonna have to nerf probably Crusader's Armor as well, because Crusaders right now is 30 defense, 50 HP, I think like 60 HP regen, I could be wrong on that, and then 13 EBAD. And now it's gonna be 18 AP, 30 defense, 50 HP, and I don't know. I think Crusader's gonna be quite strong for like people who didn't really rely on the double strike mechanic. Yeah, Butler suit is getting 2 more AP for losing its defense. I think Butler sucks right now comparing all the other chess pieces. Tuxedo, no more EBAT scaling, and now getting 20 AP just flat out of the gate, as well as basic attack amp scaling. This is insane, by the way. This is the new. If you are an auto attack character, you're running Tuxedo this patch. There's no way you are not running Tuxedo. Tuxedo is insanely overstated. Like you're just gonna run it out of the gate too, because 20 AP in the beginning is. Let me just compare it to Rockers. Okay, Rockers is 22 AP. What's the defense on Rockers anymore? 11 defense. 11. They should have just buffed this by 5. Okay. And it has healing reduction on it and 0.1 out of speed, right? This has 20 defense, 20 attack, scaling, and 11% lifesteal. Like, there's no way you're not running Tuxedo this patch if you were an auto attacker. And Burgundy's only getting 2 AP for the loss of 7 EBAT reduction. Holy Orders is now 25 AP, so you actually might see a lot more Holy Orders now. Really, before it was only Ava that built Holy Orders, maybe Bianca, not really Bianca because she had the moon. It was really just an Ava item, so now you'll probably see a lot more people build Holy Orders. Yeah, okay. Phantom Jacket, oh yeah, oh sorry, I was thinking this is Rider's Jacket or something. Phantom Jacket, which is Mai's jacket, it didn't get anything bonus, it just lost the scaling, so sure. Reduced Outlaw, gained some attack range, no one builds this, whoever. Adam is getting 10 AP for loss against his 10 EBAD. This is also... I think they don't understand that a 1-to-1 conversion for attack power and EBAD, like, this will nerf a lot of characters, but this will also buff a lot of characters. It's shifting the meta, actually, so maybe it is a good thing overall. But I'd like to see different characters in meta, compared to, like, EBAD herders, to be honest, so... Another helm change. Vigilante is now getting 14% skill damage reduction. This will be like really good in the early game. Probably might see more people use it. Not sure. I don't think people will stay on it for the game though, because defense is just way too powerful. Because defense will reduce skill damage. So Crusader's helm, no more EBAT on it. It has just 5 AP, and the second wind effect says any second wind from weapons will take priority over the helmet's one. So okay, sure. Crystal Tiara's gonna lose 100 SP, whatever. Laurel Wreath, okay, Laurel Wreath is our most hated item this patch. We have, for some reason they're like, let's happen if we remove 18 EBAT or 17 EBAT and convert 17 EBAT to 17 AP, and it doesn't matter really SP, okay? But the biggest thing is Smolder, guys. Who asked for this? Please, which one of you guys wanted to build Tank and Smolder again? Smolder is back. Smolder is back. I repeat, Smolder is back. Basic attack burns them, dealing true damage every second based off level. So you're at max level, it's 100 for melee, 80 for range. This lasts 2 seconds, max stacks of 1. So it's either gonna be this is damage per second, so it's gonna do 100 damage over 2 seconds at max level. So Old Smolder is back. Are you guys excited that Old Smolder is back? Let me know in the comments. This is the most built headpiece now, because Halo is no more. Halo is gone. Everyone's on the stupid headpiece. I can't wait to burn to death again from Smolder. My favorite thing in the game. Sturge. Anyway, okay, Vital Sign, but this one's actually a notable change. It's rare. The biggest change with this is now you don't need cell phone to make Vital Sign, you only need electronic parts, so you don't have to go to paper or pen zones. This will actually change writing quite a bit, but you are losing 10% attack speed from it. Erupting Touch, no one really built this other than Nathan. Losing its 15 per defense, it's losing 12 extra skill damage, it's getting 21 AP. No one built this thing anyway. I don't know if anyone will continue building that still. Nathan only built it because it was good on routing. We will have to see. Radiant Knight's getting 3 AP and it's losing 5% crit strike damage. No one's going to build this. Kathy might build it. Anyone with crit conversions might build it, but if you're doing crit itself, I'm not sure what you're going to build. Maybe Radar, probably. I don't know. Middle shield buff, Shah Jahan, losing its 10 Defense from basic attack is now just getting 10 extra HP. I don't think this is a fair comparison, but okay, sure. Sword Stopper is now getting 4 defense and lost its 4 EBAD reduction. Okay, sure, this one's actually more fair. Raider is now an epic and it has 10% less attack speed. So in my opinion, no one's gonna build Radar unless you really want the crit on it, and you're just gonna build Plasma Arc, because Plasma Arc is just gonna do so much more damage overall. Plasma Arc is just so good right now. That's, in my opinion, that's the best arm piece in the game right now. So if you want to know my best items, so far it's looking like it's Tuxedo, Laurel Wreath, and Plasma Arc. At least for, okay, Laurel Wreath's a rare resource. Diadem looks pretty good actually right now, so maybe it's Diadem for non-rare resource. Bracelet Scotty's now 22% skill amp. This is actually like, I don't know, this is a nerf to some characters and a buff to some characters, so it is this. These changes are actually going to shift the meta quite a bit, because the characters that really want a percentage skill amp are now going to get a lot more. So I think Cicel is going to be back in meta. People who hate Lennox, I'm sorry, this is actually a buff to Lennox. You're probably going to see Lennox build Scotty first over Glacial Shoes anyway. Tolarian's getting nerfed. Losing 10 defense and getting 10% attack speed is more of a rework. And Keep Watch is now legendary because rare resource. Muffler Shoes, these are rare resources, now epic. Now this is the biggest change, is Taproots. There's no longer with first aid kit, is now with VF Blood. No more HP on the shoes, no more unique healing. All it is a CDR shoe with some movement speed. The only reason you'd build this is if you really want the Queen of Hearts and Bracelet of Scotty. The Queen of Hearts in prominent slots, or your arm in your chest piece. Otherwise you're these suck. Like, you'd rather do like Boots or Hermes or something. I could technically see this built on Lennox, just because that's the character I made, so I know what she wants, because you really want Cabana and you want Bracelet Scotty. Like, Bracelet Scotty now looks really good for late game. And this cooldown reduction cap would be quite good for her still, even with the max HP on it, but most characters probably don't want Taproots anymore. Okay, so let's look at these. Active Camo is now just getting 12 defense, a 1-to-1. I think Active Camo is an insanely strong accessory now. I think it has 200 HP and 12 defense. I think this is really good. Like, really good for accessory. This is really good. Million Pendant changed, legendary. Lethal Quiver is getting 4 defense for losing 0.15 attack range. They've been nerfing attack range this whole patch. I guess they value, but they've also been buffing base attack range, so I think they're valuing just attack range add-ons less and just putting in base characters. White Crane Fan is losing 0.02 movement speed, is getting 14% skill amp. This is a 1-to-1 conversion. I think it's gonna nerf some characters and buff some characters. Lennox is really gonna like this change overall. Schrodinger's Box is getting 10 HP for losing its extra skill damage. Okay, sure. Lunar Embrace is now legendary because it's a rare resource. Uchiwa, no more lifesteal, no more EST. It's now Omni Siphon and Skillet Amp. I don't know if people built this. Maybe, I think it really depends on the character, because maybe Rosie might build. Nah, I don't know if Rosie would really want the skill amp. I could be wrong. I don't know who would build this as of yet. Veritas, no more 12 EST. It's now also lower skill amp, is at 8 EP. This is actually a nerf overall. This thing needs to be nerfed anyway, so I'm honestly completely fine with that. Of course, legendary. Okay, so food. We're almost at the end of the patch, finally. Rarity of food is adjusted, and they're gonna adjust food. So canned cod litter. These are foods that really no one builds, by the way. I'm sorry. If you do build one of these foods, you can also feel free to let me know. The garlic bread is probably the most common food built out of all of these ones, but canned cod liver, can plus cod, which you can one zone and beach actually. You will now get 2 for 500 instead of 1 550. Garlic bread 475 to 450, but you get 3. Carp bread 475 to 400, but you get 6. This is a huge change, by the way. Carp bread might become more meta for early game food if you go forest, in my opinion, because the fishing spots in or pond, like those fishing spots are quite good. And like easy, the route through like cemetery, like the carp spawns are kind of out of the way, so I don't think people in Sam will go for it, but I could definitely see it in forest and pond. Bailick garlic skin, bacon and garlic sticks. I'm sorry, oh my gosh, I'm starting to lose my voice just talking. This is almost 2 hours of recording so far, so yeah, it's losing 50 and going up 2. Bun losing 52. The fish fillet. Bun is the coffee plus bread. Fish fillet of egg is carp plus bread. You can one zone this in cemetery technically. This is also just going up 50 or 502. Egg buns. So these are basically just kind of just turning into rare food anyway. But they don't need like 3 resources. They only need 2 to make. Egg bun is egg plus bread. You get 3, and you lose 25 HP. Choco ice cream, they're just buffing it. They're not changing the HP regen, so it technically is just a buff overall. Holy water, you'll now get 3 from Omega Wick. Tearsaline, you also get 3 Omega Wick. First aid kit's now epic. This really doesn't do much other than the fact that Lennox can no longer fish it from the water. That's literally the only change that it's going to be noticeable for. I guess because you couldn't get it out of air supply box anyway. This is literally just nerfs Lennox, that's it. And it's the odds of you getting it before were like super slim anyway. What was it? How do you pronounce this? Cao Liang. Okay, Cao Liang liquor isn't just buffed. Whiskey cocktails being buffed, no more herbal liquor. So if you made it, this honestly to be fair, because people make flower liquor because of Cheng Pao, but no one really made herbal liquor. C4, okay, damage, C4, double guillotine, claymore, smart bombs, and mythical stringer. Wait, no, C4, double G's, claymores, and smart bombs are all losing their damage by like 10, 10, and 20. I guess they don't want traps to be noted as much. Materials, like I said, no more dead batteries. Ion batteries are now just going to be battery plus carbonated water. Trade life's now epic. Mythros epic. Meteorite epic. Moonlight epic. You can find this will change. You can't get these from blue boxes anymore, which finally, honestly, this needed to be removed a while ago. So good change. And again, Lennox can't fish them with her passive. That's it. So it just makes her passive even more useless. So whatever. Item distribution. Bike helmets are now in pawn. That's a very interesting change. The only thing I can think of the note for this is you can now make tac ops on route if you do Hotel, Pond, Avenue, Alley. I don't know exactly what other recipes this will change, like what other routing, but I'm sure it will change more routings for tac ops specifically, because that's really the only reason why you're getting a bike helmet. Like, because motorcycle helm, vigilante, and mohawk headgear are only really good in the early game, and you really want to switch off in the late game because only HP items are really bad. That's why no one builds holy orders, because defense is a lot more valuable in the late game than it is in the early game. Uptown, flowers gone. You get 4 more oil and 5 more whiskey. Cemetery, no more flowers, obviously, because remember you can pick them off the ground. That's what I just mean by no more flowers. Gets 4 more bamboo, okay, and 5 more garlic. The bamboo is the biggest change because before you can only get 1 bamboo per loot set guaranteed. Now you can get 2, and this is actually really good. Good change overall. Forest flowers now just fabric arbor. This is completely new. I don't know what recipes this change because often like the main forest routing you do would be archery alley forest, and you'd already get fabric armor from archery range. So I don't know exactly what routing this will change overall. Maybe I'll have to see. We'll have to test it out. I could maybe come up with some like Linux routings for doing forest, like beach forest or something like that. I'm not too sure. And air supply improvements been adjusted. Heated oil here, so I'm boiling no longer drop from uncommon. This is the best drop you can get from those boxes, so it's just pretty much a nerf from that. Items that are now epic will now drop from epic. Traps now drop from epic. This is actually a huge change, getting traps from epic. Air supply, a lot of new players don't really know about traps. I do have a video all about traps. If I remember about me mentioning this, I'll link it in the top right corner. Items that are now legendary rarity are now drop legendary supplies, and air supplies no longer spawn after night 2. This is because the like the Tree of Life Mithril Meteorite now only spawn from epic containers. So there's no reason to drop rare supplies. Like, yes, for food would be good, but they expect you to have a lot of food past night 1 anyway, so. Okay, bugs, vision logic refactoring. The logic regarding vision has been completely refactored. Our spaghetti code regarding this one has become more organized and will improve issues such as missing teammates and wild animals, basic attacks not working with the characters, Bruce not disappearing smoothly, etc. Although this will help with optimization, there are some current issues that may create performance drops in some PCs. We've already located the issue and will be improved next patch. Hopefully it won't impact my computer too much for the next patch, but in your guys' computer too. We'll see. Gameplay improvement, UI on items being crafted now displayed properly. They attack down, deal damage to wild animals. Okay, you guys can just read them yourself because these are just gameplay things. There's nothing really major here. Let's see, any bugs? No longer pass through Nina. Okay, that's probably a nerf to Nikki in the long term. Okay, fix that. Okay, displayed properly. Proper damage near book. Was this doing less or more damage is the real question. This is also going to be a pretty big buffer here where you can actually track enemies if they go visible. So this will be like dagger skill or ISIL, I guess. ISIL E. So I guess here we'll be able to see them if we mark them with that. Priya's flower gown cannot actually be undetached for real this time. This is the thing I found funny. Like, if you were Priya was under leveled and you killed a higher level Priya, you could just switch her crown. I know that was a little bit funny, but it looks like that's been fixed this time. Yeah, I guess people were abusing this. Like, they'd rest when they use the dance move. I don't know. I guess to cancel the CC or just to get some health back. Not too sure. But yeah, that is all for this patch. Quote, that is all, unquote. There's so much in this change. I said, I've already addressed who I think is going to be stronger and weaker. I really think this will shake up the meta a lot. Routing is going to be shaken up a lot too. The credit system is going to shake up the meta. And yeah, there's just a lot of things that are going to be changed this patch. I won't be making any character guides during the preseason, obviously, as there's so much being changed and people have to figure out new stuff, and a lot of balancing is going to be happening on during the preseason. So I'm not too sure what I'll be putting up on the channel during the preseason. It might be just more beginner guides type of thing. I have one or two ideas as well that don't relate to like the balance and such of the patch. So yeah, that's really all of the patch. I literally just can't wait to see all the things in the game. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like down below, and I hope to see you at the next video. Bye bye.